Hey, what is up? I've just finished editing and uploading my part one of Black Hole Sun, the Black Hole Sun reaction and analysis. It was going to be really in depth, a three-parter, in response to people requesting that I do more analysis type stuff. Now, this would be the longest I've ever spent probably on a video, and Murphy's Law, it got blocked. So after all that, the blocked videos are available to the patrons, so I will be uploading that for the patrons. But I thought I will upload my thoughts anyway, and I'll cut out the music. I've got a little bit of stick for that in the past because I think, there's no music there. I thought in this case it's pretty important just to get my thoughts on the song and some of the lyrics and meaning and that kind of thing just before we hit the actual drum parts. So this video unfortunately does not have any of the actual music in it. Next video is going to be the isolated drum cover, so you can hear exactly what the drum part's doing, or as close as I can get it to the original drum part, off a note for note transcription, and then after that I'll be breaking down the actual drum part. And that will be part 3 of the Black Hole Sun analysis. So I hope you dig it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2. Hey, what is up YouTube? Andrew Rooney here. I'm a full-time drummer and drum teacher here in Auckland, New Zealand, and this is a response to a few requests I've been getting about doing a more in-depth analysis on songs, drummers, and artists. And I mean, to me, a reaction is not an analysis. It's very difficult to genuinely do a first-time reaction and also pull apart the music. So, I mean, for example, you get like the Bleed, Meshuggah, and Numa, the big Tool live vid that was doing the rounds. Those are very complicated songs and complicated drumming. And it's hard to pull it apart on a first time listen. The reaction is more just like what you are feeling on your first reaction, your first time hearing it, and how it hits you. Analysis, very different. Analysis, something I take very seriously. So I'm going to do this Black Hole Sun analysis in a few parts. Today's one is going to be just on the actual video. Going to have a look at the lyrics. Of course, we're going to hear the drumming in the track. And then I'm going to do an isolated drum cover. A few weeks or possibly months back, I recorded a note for note play along with Black Hole Sun. So I dove pretty deep into the drum part at least. And so I've got a few things that I took away from that. Well, a lot of things really. Matt Cameron, phenomenal drummer. Yeah, so I'm going to take this rather seriously. Look, you guys asked for a bit more analysis. Careful what you ask for, you're going to get it. Really, to dig into the drumming, we need to, in my opinion, dig into the actual track itself, sort of the meaning behind it, or sort of what you feel is the meaning behind it, what you think the artist intended. And so let's check out the actual song in the video. But first of all, a little bit of background on Soundgarden and a little bit of my background with Soundgarden. Now, Black Hole Sun appeared on the 1994 album Super Unknown. Now, 1994, some quick math, I would have been 15, 16. Pretty formative, very formative time in your life if you're a music fan. Those teenage years, they are so powerful. I get like the Rush fans and the Led Zeppelin fans on this channel, and they just go, how can you not know about this? Well, it's because you were listening to Led Zeppelin and Rush when you were in your teens, and it becomes really meaningful for you. You really hold on to that, and as you go through your life, you have a lot of nostalgia for it, which I do for bands like Soundgarden. So when you are 15 or 16 and you're starting to develop somewhat of your own identity, and you do tend to feel like the world's against you a little bit, so you feel a little bit rebellious, and you start to develop your own ideas on how the world works and how things are either unjust or wrong or right, and music has a massive impact on that. The thing that stood out to me and my friends, despite us all being musicians and the music in Soundgarden being really dense and interesting, I mean, the first thing that hits you is Chris Cornell's soaring vocals, which were absolutely phenomenal, combined with these unusual, somewhat existential lyrics. And, you know, this is not a band singing love songs. This is there's something else, something a lot deeper going on here. Superunknown was Soundgarden's magnum opus, and I mean, I was a huge fan of their previous release, Bad Motorfinger. Any other Bad Motorfinger fans out there? But I think this is where they got broad mass appeal, was on the release of Superunknown, and in particular the success of Black Hole Sun. Black Hole Sun won the Grammy in 1994 for Best Rock Performance, and it also won the MTV Award for Best Metal or Hard Rock Video. So let's check out the video and the song right now. Just before we get to the vocal entry here, already an unusual, I mean, this is just such an unconventional band. It's jarring how different things you hear on radio type stuff or MTV now. I mean, it's just so strange. We're in very different times that this, I mean, it's amazing this even could have got onto MTV. So unusual, almost like a sci-fi kind of vibe on the intro here. I'm just going to back it up a little bit, and then we're going to check out the vocal entry. Foreboding, almost like a horror movie here. Sorry, this is the analysis that people have been asking for, so I will be stopping it. Let's just think, well, aside from the already stunning, sort of smoky, mysterious vocals, and my eyes indisposed, in disguise, as no one knows. So at this point, you could, I guess, be veering off to like a love lost, or, you know, you could be going in that sort of generic romance song content route, but we're not going to. And in disguise, as no one knows. I mean, we all know, I don't want to make this too exploitative of Chris Cornell and the tragedy of his death, but the songs and lyrics, everything he wrote has so much more impact and weight now after what has happened. I mean, it did then. It was very powerful, even as a youngster. And certainly a band for people who are, I guess, sort of thinking deeply about other topics and not just wanting like 3.5-minute pop songs. Nothing wrong with 3.5-minute pop songs, but this was just a very unusual, experimental, not experimental is not the right type of word, progressive, quite a progressive band to be on the radio. Hides the face, lies the snake, and the sun in my disgrace. Soundgarden, very artistic, art rock, art alternative. I don't know how we don't need to pigeonhole them, but very artistic and sort of non-conformist. They're not really trying to please anyone with their music. I really feel like there was a total authenticity in their music. And I mean, you could read a lot of meanings into these lyrics. The video helps a lot as well. I think it is talking about authenticity and fakeness, and it's almost feels to me, without researching what Chris or the band said about the song themselves, that they are talking about, or he's talking about, he's kind of had enough of it. He's kind of had enough of the fakeness, and he just wants to wash it all away. Wow. I mean, there is a lot going on here. Look, if you're the type of person who gets annoyed at people stopping a video, please do check out the original. Of course, check out the original video. This is in response to people wanting me to analyze a song and a drummer. So there is just so much going on here. We've had, how many time signature changes have we had already? 1, 2, 3, 4. We've had 5 time signature changes already. We've gone between 4/4, 2/4, back to 4/4, 2/4, back to 4/4, and we're going to be continuing. There's going to be a lot of time signature changes in this song. It is just, again, so fascinating to me that a song like this could even get on the radio, could even get mass appeal. And it speaks so much to the band themselves, the songwriting ability, and making something this complicated coherent to your standard audience. Let's carry it on. We've definitely got some kind of commentary on fakeness, and it's almost like a TV mentality, which is again amazing that to be on MTV with these kind of themes. Changing time signatures, the density of the music. I don't know what the guitar. I'm not a guitarist. You'd have to let me know. If there are any guitarists out there, let me know what the tuning is in the song. I'm sure it's weird. Soundgarden often use completely unusual tunings. On first listen, like I say, it was the vocals. The vocals really took everyone's breath away, and it was just so unusual to hear a singer like this with so much character, and there's undeniable. It's just undeniable when an artist is real. And with Chris Cornell, you got that. Ah, what a song. What an absolute classic song. As I say, the next video, I'll release my isolated drumming version of this track. And again, previously I've recorded along with the play-along version. So it was from the Hal Leonard play-along series. It is note for note. It's really very, very accurate. Scarily accurate charts. I highly recommend the Hal Leonard charts. Obviously, it was Chris Cornell's vocals that really stood out to people. And I think what was so exciting about Soundgarden and so exciting about Chris's vocals was that he had different voices, really. He could access such a massive range. He could sing really low and, sort of growling, brooding, almost like a mumbling quality to a lot of his vocals, where I always found it quite hard to understand sometimes. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Chris Cornell is one of my favorite vocalists of all time. I think he's an absolute genius and just an incredible artist, but he had almost like a mumbling country quality. And I am really struck now at how twangy his tone is. It's amazing listening to him now with a little bit of time distance to when I was listening to them a lot when I was younger. He sounds very country at times. It's really, really surprising. And like I say, he had these different voices. Axl Rose was the same on Appetite for Destruction. He was able to access different registers. And I mean, you hear Chris on track Seasons comes to mind, just a fantastic track. I think it's all him. I think it's just him playing various overlaid acoustic guitars and vocals. And he really showcases his falsetto there. And as I say, you hear him singing really low, and then he gets into this mid-range where he sort of screams almost, and then in this higher range where he just screams. I'm not a vocal coach. If you please tag a vocal coach in this video to tell us more about Chris's vocals, but I would love to know how healthy some of those sounds were, because he would seem to sort of scream, and it was like a style that a lot of us had never heard, and it was just that's where the real exciting stuff is for me with Chris's vocals, where he could just take you on such a ride, because he's got this deep brooding, as I say, mumbling sounds derogatory, I don't mean it like that, but it's kind of like brooding bluesy country vibe. And then he could just let loose and just scream at you with this incredible power. In the end, what it does is it provides emotion, because he's taking you on a journey. To use that awful reality TV analogy, it really is a journey. And he can access all these different places in his voice, which tell a wildly different story. Now, I realize I haven't talked a lot about Matt Cameron on this video. Matt Cameron is a fantastic drummer, one of my massive influences, really. And And just listening to him on the track again, I'm stunned that a release like this has such dense drumming in it. The song is very, very slow. It's around about 52 BPM, which is incredibly slow. And I'm just amazed at kind of what he gets away with in a Vinnie Colaiuta kind of way. You know, like an incredible drummer like Vinnie Colaiuta can kind of just throw anything in the mix, and like it's just like whatever. I'll just play whatever I want and it all fits perfectly. Matt Cameron's a little bit like that for me. It's just amazing what he gets away with, if you want to put it like that. And he really is the catalyst for a lot of the double time feeling and a lot of the intensity I put down to Matt Cameron. If we take away the stunning Chris Cornell vocals. So yeah, hopefully you dug this video. This is kind of the setup. This is looking at like the emotional part of, you know, the full song and the video and the story it's trying to tell. Next up, I'm going to release my isolated cover of the song so we can actually have a look at, you know, how the drums sound. I'm not Matt Cameron, by the way, of course, as you might have noticed. It's just my deep dive analysis on the transcription. Play it, see what I can learn from it. The video after that is going to be my breakdown and analysis of just the drum part. We know it's a fantastic song. We know Chris Cornell's absolutely incredible. And this band with their unique sound and flavor, odd time and all that. But then we'll take a deep dive on just the drumming and check it out. Guys, if you dug the video, please be sure to subscribe and like, and I will catch you on the next one. Ciao.